So around this time last year, we had finished season 4, and the question was, what's the next step for Metalocalypse? I knew that I wanted to pick up right where we left off in season 4 with the abduction of Toki, Wartooth, and Abigail. And I thought, wouldn't this be cool if we got to do a 1 hour long special that is a total rock opera from beginning to end?
I was pretty excited when Brendon brought up the idea of a musical, because to me that seemed like that was just kind of a natural for the thing. It's such a huge undertaking though for Brendon to write that stuff, so it was really cool to have a whole project that's just wall-to-wall songs.
When Brendon mentioned I'm thinking about doing this, the clock opera for the next one, and I was like, wow, that's really really awesome idea. I wasn't expecting to hear the scope that it's turned into.
It's huge. I think it's a phenomenal piece of work.
It was me, Janine, and Brendon sat down, kind of wrote an outline. Then he went away and wrote the music.
And so I said, okay, I said goodbye to everybody, and I went away for about a month and a half into my little tiny studio.
And came back and had basically the Doomstar recorded in demo form with him singing all the parts.
We must find him, we must rescue him, we are running out of time, we must track him.
And then we started storyboarding from that. Even as an automatic, it's really fun to watch.
And what I wanted to do was to have a story point that in my mind is, I see that story point and go, okay, that's a song. And this story point is a song. And this is like Jesus Christ Superstar. And this over here is like this moment in Annie. Or this is a moment from like Tommy the Who or whatever, It's not going to sound like that and it's not going to look like that. But in the back of my mind, that's my little kernel of the beginning of that sequence.
It changes tempo, changes tone, style throughout, so you never really get bored with any sequence while you're working on it.
First idea that I had for a sequence, I thought, why not make a 2-minute long guitar solo? There's never been a 2-minute long guitar solo on TV before, so that will be fun. And how do you make it cool? How do you make it so every measure is raising the stakes higher than it was before, and it's also telling this internal story?
And it's kind of like his duel with Skwisgaar, and it's kind of a huge epic guitar solo.
With the show, whenever we do a guitar moment that's a big solo moment, we like to kind of display it accurately. And I had to get filmed and play the whole thing from beginning to end and showed it to the animators. And they're making it look really good. It looks really accurate.
We spent a lot of time on Metalocalypse just kind of almost dirtying up the animation and dirtying up some of the design a little bit to give it a little more of a live action feel. You see that we're doing a lot of lighting effects, a lot of fog effects, going through this thing and just kind of making it as cinematic as we possibly can make it.
After we got the storyboard finished, the whole animatic finished, it was time for me to go back and take the demo and make it into a polished piece of music. I got very lucky and I got Gene Hogwin to come in to play some amazing drums on this whole thing.
Let me see, I think I'm doing 16 songs in 2.5 days. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's glorious. It's awesome. This is great. It's killer. I love this record. I love this album fully.
My main goal was to make sure that I had other people with me, real drummers, real orchestral instruments, and also experience everyone in the whole cast singing. So we had Malcolm McDowell and Mark Hamill and Victor Brandt, who were the guys from the Tribunal.
It appears as though Death Clock is going to rescue their bandmate. And if they fail, we could lose everything.
I could save them or I could kill them, but I will do your bidding, my masters.
Toughest thing for an actor to do who's not a singer is sing.
They're famous actors, but they're not session musicians, so it was really fun to kind of speak this hybrid musical character direction.
They did the over vibrato version where you may have to shake your body even a little bit to get that vibrato to come out. You know?
And to kind of direct them from outside of the booth, be louder, to hold a note longer, to remind them where the notes are. It's up high, no, it's down over there.
That's kind of cool.
And then I had other like professional singers, like Rhea came in and sang this lullaby, which is one of the quietest moments on Metalocalypse ever.
He's a really good director, actually. He's really, really solid. He was kind of coming at it from character perspective, but also like a technique perspective. That's actually pretty rare and pretty cool.
One of the coolest things I've always wanted to do, because I've written so much music on this show, but I've never gotten to have a full 50-piece orchestra play with me. And I finally got to do that, and you're going to hear that. It sounds really, really good. The first piece, the opening of the whole thing, is this big, huge brass and low strings theme. And it's, in my mind, the big overture, where you're going to hear themes of things that I can keep on repeating. Without a doubt, I have to say, this is the coolest thing we've ever done with the show. Because it involves my favorite things: comedy, story, and music. And really great art.
It's been a really fun project. I think it's pretty fun to watch.
Even just as a piece of music, I think it's a real achievement.
Come into it with an open mind. That's all you need, because the music is awesome and it's fun.
So I think we've done a lot of cool stuff with the show, but never something that is as dramatic and silly and funny and also emotionally driven as this whole piece is. So I'm excited for you to see it. On top of this being a special, this is also a record that you can get, and it's going to have the full opera, and it's going to have a single that you can't get on the TV show that is a real Def Clock song. And because I'm so excited to have worked with this orchestra, you're going to hear a lot of the score by itself, which is going to be really cool. So go to iTunes and check out Metalocalypse, the Doomstar Requiem, a clock opera. It's the best thing we've done.